This video has potential to be a very long one, so I am ranking every single championship manager since the 2020-2021 season. Oh boy, right, okay, let's just get it straight underway, okay? We're kicking off the first one, Thomas Frank. Goated, honestly, what a job he done at Brentford, signing brilliant new players. He's got the best out of some player, which honestly thought careers were going to go down the bin, but he done really well, honestly, with Brentford. Phenomenal manager, and I think he's just going the GOAT tier. Next one is Grant McCann. He's one of them managers that I feel like are too good for League One, but not good enough for the Championship, so I think it'd be fair to put him there. Next one is Gareth Ainsworth. I haven't made up my mind about Gareth Ainsworth. I think he's done a good job at Wickham. He's done okay at QPR. You know, didn't do well for the first bit of them, but the second half of his stint there, he did all right to obviously keep them up in the Championship. Next one is Gary Rowett. I think he's a decent... No, actually, you know what? I think he's done a good job at Millwall. You know, Millwall were a side which I believe when he first took over Millwall were a side which, you know, I feel like were kind of a little bit down there, mid-tablers, but he's trying to get them in the playoffs. Unfortunately, missed out on the final day. So, yeah, I think he's a good manager. I think next season, though, could potentially be his last chance at Millwall. I think he's got to go for that promotion. Next one is Liam Rosner. I think he's a decent manager. I think it's too early to say, but I think he's done a great job coming with Hull. You know, another team which were down there in the league when he took over, and now he's kind of done well with them. You know, high-end, mid-table, brought in some good players. I think he's a good manager. Next one is Carlos Corbehan. I'm going to go with him as well. I'm probably going to put him above Gary Rowett because I feel like he done well with West Brom considering the circumstance that West Brom are in, and also what he did with Huddersfield as well. Honestly, phenomenal. I think he's a really manager. I think he's a great manager, a lot of potential. I haven't put him in the GOAT category just because I don't think it'd be fair to put him in that because he hasn't, like... I feel like to put a manager in the GOATed category for the Championship, you've got to get at least promotion to the Premier League, or at least do something unbelievable. So, he's done really well in West Brom, done really well with Huddersfield, but, you know, I feel like he still is that little bit away from the GOAT tier. Next one is Paul Heckingbottom. I think he has surprised me, Paul Heckingbottom, you know, when he took over Slavis. So, I didn't think he'd do that well, but... he really has surprised me. He's done brilliant at Sheffield United, you know, another club that have been a little bit in terms of the ownership problems at the moment. Obviously, being linked to a lot of takeovers. Nothing happened yet, and currently still with, I think, I can't remember his name, Prince Abdullah or something like that. But anyway, yeah, I think he's done a really good job at Sheffield United to kind of use what he's been forced to use. They haven't spent a lot of money, Sheffield United, but they do have a good team. So, yeah, I think to get automatically promoted, I think is a great achievement. Next one we're going to go in for is Steve Cooper. Obviously, playoff final with Swansea, and then promotion to the Premier League with Nottingham Forest. And has done brilliant with Nottingham Forest. What a manager Cooper is. Took over Forest, who I believe only picked up 1 point from 7 games. Even though you could maybe argue the fact that Forest, he inherited a fantastic squad. But I feel like sometimes it takes that right manager to get the best out of them players. And I think Cooper has done a great job there. Next one is Enzo. I don't know, I'm going to put him in the 50-50 category. It's hard to rank him, so I don't really know too much about him, but he's the right-hand man to Pep. So I feel like to put him in the 50-50 category would be fair, because it's one of them that it's either going to work out or not work out at Leicester. I don't know which way it will work out. Next one is Valérien Ismaël. Done a great job at Barnsley. Awful job at West Brom. Now he's at Watford. 50-50. He should have done better with the West Brom squad he had. He didn't. He done amazing with the Barnsley squad when they're probably one of the favourites to go down. But yeah, I think he's 50-50 for me, Valérien Ismaël. But I think I'd put him ahead of Ainsworth and Enzo at the moment because I know a little bit more about him. Very defensive, like-minded manager. Next one is Mark Nottingham. Do I really need to say any more about him? Shocking. Honestly, he might be the worst manager in this category. Next one is Slaven Bilic. He's a deep. You know what? He has done a good job in terms of the Championship clubs that he's managed. You know, he's done well. Actually, he has to be fair. He done well with West Brom. Didn't do well with Watford. But then again, not many managers going to go. So I'm going to put him in the decent category. So I think he is a really good manager. But I just don't think it worked out for him at Watford. Next one is Mark Hudson. Bad. Right, bad. Next one is Alex Neil. I think a decent manager, Alex Neil. I think I'd put him ahead of... actually, no, I think I'd put him behind Liam Rosner at the moment. But he done okay at Stoke. I feel like he should have still done better, but done alright. Next one is John Eustace. Honestly, you might be calling me biased. I don't want to come across as biased. I don't think he's done a better job than what Liam Rosner has, but I think he's done a good job though, nonetheless. So I'm going to put him ahead of Alex Neil because I think he has done a decent job considering the circuit. Obviously, I'm being a little bit biased here because I'm a Birmingham fan. I know a lot about, Birmingham compared to obviously, a lot more of these clubs. But I think he's done brilliant considering the lack of money he's had to spend. I think he's had one of the lowest budgets in the Championship. He's used the most youngsters in the Championship this season. I believe we've given the most minutes to teenagers in the Championship. He is a phenomenal manager, John Eustace, in my opinion, and I'm going to put him in the decent category. Next one is John Dahl Thomason. Honestly, I think he's done a really good job at Blackburn. He will be a great manager one day. He'll be a great manager. Next one is Beale. He done a good job at QPR, didn't he? And as soon as he left QPR, whoop, they dropped like a brick. Next one is Steve Bruce. The thing is, he didn't do a good job at all West Brom, but you can't really argue that he isn't one of the best Championship managers because he's got the most promotions. So I'm going to put him in the 50-50 category. I don't think he should go back to management again, Steve Bruce, but I'm going to put him in the 50-50 category. Next one is that, I can't remember his name, but the Swedish mage from Barnsley. Not great. I'll put him ahead of Mark Hudson, though. Right, because they did show some decent football signs, but didn't work out. Next one is Dean Smith. I don't know. Dean Smith, he's a decent manager. He done well with Villa, but then again, Norwich, he should have walked the league with that Norwich squad and didn't do well. So, I think I'm going to put him in the decent category, just behind Bilic, in my opinion. Because I think he is a decent manager, but time will tell. Next one is Wilder. 50-50. Brilliant with Sheffield United. Watford and Middlesbrough. Awful. Next one, I don't know. Oh, Jonathan Woodgate. Not good enough. Not good enough. I wouldn't put him in the bad or shocking because he didn't. I don't know. He done okay with Bournemouth, but he's better as a number 2. Mark Robbins, honestly, GOAT. I said you had to get promotion to the Premier League in this category. I retract that statement. Mark Robbins for me. Absolutely phenomenal job he has done at Coventry. What a job. Set from League 2 and on the threat of even liquidation to all the way to a playoff final and missed out on penalties. Phenomenal. Next one is Nathan Jones. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I think pretty much most people hate him, but you can't not put him in the good job category because what a job he done at Luton, level with... Actually, I think I've got him on sort of the top end of good job because the job he done with Luton, you could maybe argue the infrastructure there was amazing, but he's got to be up there, Mark Robbins, in terms of what he's done with the club, phenomenal. Mark Warburton, decent manager. Yeah, I think he's a decent manager. Obviously done alright with QPR, stabilised them, playoffs, ish. Yeah. Next one, the Reading manager, former, I can't remember his name, he's like Ponachu or something like that. 50-50 because he done really well with his first season in charge. Got them, just missed out on the playoffs and on like the final few games of the season. Unfortunately, didn't do great with them in the second season that he had, but yeah. Next one is Wayne Rooney. Honestly, he done a decent job. At Derby. Decent job. Next one is Sabri. I rate Sabri, to be fair, as a manager. I do rate him. I love him as a character, I love his passion he's got. Done alright with Forest. Missed out again in the final day with playoffs. Kept Cardiff in the league. Solid manager. Next one is Mick McCarthy. Honestly, not good enough anymore. He's one of them who's a dinosaur manager. I don't expect to see him in the Championship anytime soon again. David Wagner. Good with Huddersfield. Norwich, meh. I'd probably put him in the decent category, probably. I'd probably put him in the decent category, because I think he is a good manager, but... don't know, maybe you could have argued he could have done better with Norwich. Maybe you'd have been given the start of the season, though. Maybe things could have been different. And obviously, he didn't really have much of a transfer window, did he? Neil Critchley, I'm 50-50 on Critchley. I'm 50-50 on him, personally. Next one is Kolo Touré. Honestly, I think I put him ahead of Mark Thottingham just because I love Kolo Touré and Mark Thottingham is a nutter. Next one's Rob Edwards. Honestly, what a phenomenal job Rob Edwards has done at Luton. You know, sacked in Watford, guided Luton to the Premier League for the first time in like 74 years. Phenomenal. Next one is Michael Carrick. He has done a very, very good job at Borough. A phenomenal job. You know, just to miss out, you know, on the Premier League as well. Playoffs against Coventry. Yeah, what a great manager. And miss out just on automatics as well. He gave it a good go, but appointment, I think, was left a little bit too late. Maybe if he started at the start of the season, maybe things could have been entirely different. Next one is, I'm not going to lie, I don't know anything about this guy, so I'm going to put in the 50-50 category, the new Cardiff boss. Next one is Matt Taylor. Still haven't made my mind up on Matt Taylor. Still haven't made up my mind on him. You know, I think he's done well to keep Rotherham in the Championship, but you do wonder, without them early results from Paul Warne, would they still be a Championship club? I don't know. Next one is Frank McAvoy. I'd probably put him in the top end of bad, to be honest. You know, yeah. Next one is Lee Bowyer. 50-50 on Lee. I'm 50-50 on Lee Bowyer. I think he done really well when he took over first at Blues, but second on the season, not great. Next one, Nigel Pearson. I'm top end of 50-50. Honestly, I don't think he's the right man for Bristol City, but you never know. Next one is Paul Warne for his time at Rotherham. I think he's a decent manager, Paul Warne. You know, I rate him quite highly. Next one is the Wigan manager. Honestly, he done a really good job at Wigan. He done a good job at Wigan. He really did. He done a good job at Wigan. You know, to kind of, you know, unfortunately left due to obviously the takeover, you know, the circumstances. I believe he was actually sacked, I think, and replaced with Kolo Touré. However, I do feel like money, you know, money was a big factor in it. Next one is Michael O'Neill. Done brilliant to keep Stoke up, but apart from that, didn't really do too much. But I feel like it'd be fair to put him in the 50-50 category, because they did show promise, Stoke, but yeah. Next one is Darren Ferguson. Not good enough for the Championship, I don't think. But then again, they weren't awful, but just, you know, Grant McCann and Ferguson in, out, in, out. Next one is, Danny Schofield. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. Michael Apperton, bad. He didn't do well. No, not good enough. Next one is Company. Go, honestly, go. Absolutely phenomenal, mate. You could argue the amount of money you had to spend, but then again, they kind of, you know, used that through, obviously selling players, using the money they sell from players to bring in new players. I rate Company as a manager. Next one was the Hull manager. He just wasn't good enough, was he? You know, they did show some promise under him, Hull, but, you know, I can't remember his name. It's like Shatua or something like that. Great guy, honestly, what a human, what a footballer as well, you know, probably one of the best Georgia footballers ever, you know, phenomenal player. Not good enough though. Right, next one is Ryan Lowe. I think he's done a good job at Preston, to be fair, Ryan Lowe. I think I would put him here. You know, I think foundations again, he's built it. Next season, I expect Preston to push on. Next one is Morrison. Very harshly sacked, but I still don't think he's good enough. But harshly sacked. Scott Parker. I mean, you can't argue it. Two promotions. You know, I know he's had two of the best squads in the league, but two promotions. Yeah. Next one is Slavica. Didn't work out for Sheffield United, did it? But he is a good manager, though. He is a good manager, you know. I'd put him along with the Bilic category. He's similar in Bilic in my mind. One of the best managers in the Championship, but, you know, he kind of failed in his most recent job at Sheffield United. I don't think he still manages now, Slavasa, but he is a solid manager. Next one is Sean Malone. I think the manager has a lot of potential, but I think for the time being, not good enough, but I feel like he has potential to be good enough. Next one is going to be Russell Martin. Played some really good football with Swansea. So I think I'm going to put him here maybe, just behind Ryan Lowe. Great football, honestly. They probably played some of the best stuff, and Swansea were probably the best team to watch last season. The amount of goals they scored, but then again, they did concede a lot as well, but honestly, very entertaining. Next one is Neil Warnock. Honestly, that's what I'm talking about. That's why he's the GOAT. The GOAT. Right, honestly, I love Warnock. Next one, Tony Mowbray. Really good job, Mowbray. Honestly, I thought he would flop at Sunderland. Good job. Good job. Okay, next one, Paul Ince. Not good enough. He tried his best, Paul Ince, bless him, you know, and he done well, you know, to keep them up, but this season, less we talk about it, the better. If they would have sacked him earlier, I think they would have stayed up. Next one, Marco Silva. Honestly, instead of, you know, doing well with Fulham, he got them playing some really good stuff. And you see what they're doing now in the Premier League with him. Absolutely phenomenal. Darren Moore, good. He's done a great job with Sheffield Wednesday. I think he came in at a very, you know, harsh point with points reductions, ownership issues, you know, protests, but almost kept them up. Missed out on the final day because of I believe a late goal from Vaghorn. But, yeah. I think he's done a good job. Actually, no, I think I'm doing a little bit too generous to him here, actually. I'd probably put him in the decent category. And final one, Michael Duff. Still early to say about him, so I'm just going to put in the 50-50 category. But anyway, hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you guys have, make sure to drop a like, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and hope you all have a great rest of your day. Thank you, people. Speak to you soon.